105, your main source. It's about damn time.
If you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. We're ready for the road.
We are less than a month away from Carnival Saturday. I have some representatives from the very, very important Toronto Masqueraders Association. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. It's 29 days exactly.
29 days.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself first and foremost.
Yeah. My name is Tara. I'm one of the chair members of the Toronto Masqueraders Association. And
I am Michelle. I'm also a founder of the Toronto Masqueraders Association.
Okay, nice. And you guys are no strangers. You've been here before.
Yes.
I had
2
you
years
guys.
ago, I think it was.
It was that long ago.
I know. It's been a while. We were just thinking about that. We
I know.
formed back in the fall of 2013 when we saw that the carnival needed a voice of change. And kind of what started as like a Facebook page to just sort of brainstorm ideas and getting feedback from all the masqueraders in terms of what their grievances were, what changes needed to be made. Then, here we are in 2017, trying to still make that difference in terms of improving the overall carnival experience for the masqueraders, all the participants, the spectators, the public, everybody involved really who loves this festival. So.
Okay, amazing. And I mean, changes have happened over the past couple of years, some for the better, some for the worse. There have been a lot of changes this year. I was actually sitting at the mass camp, and all of these changes were coming at me, and I was like, whoa. And honestly, the first thing I thought about, I'm like, I need to have you guys on the show to have the other side of this and really first and foremost, spread the information so people know what's really going to happen that day, and then maybe get some opinions as to how this is really going to go down. So I'll let you start maybe by, let's start telling them some of the major changes for Toronto Carnival 2017.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest things is the earlier start time.
Okay.
And the parade is going to officially start at 8:30. There's always a few guest bands that go down the route before the costume band. So the costume participants should be expecting to move between 9 and 9:30 a.m. So that's quite a bit earlier than the traditional 11 a.m. that most individuals are used to. But there's good reasons for it. And if you think about it, you get more time on the road in your costume to enjoy and line with your family and friends on the parade route, more selfies, more pictures. So there's a trade-off there, right? So the earlier start time is hopefully going to allow all of the bands out onto the route and enjoy themselves, facilitate enough time for the judging aspect of the parade inside the CNE grounds as well. And hopefully, just general crowd control and enforcing the parade route a little bit more smoothly in the flow of the bands. Because historically there were challenges in getting all of the bands out of the CNE grounds
100%.
onto the route and participating in judging. There's 11 bands for the mass bands participating in the judging this year, so definitely want to see them all get their time on the stage to showcase all of that important work that went into those costumes.
For sure, especially with the new bands. Big up to Venom on the outside, who's actually last. And normally, when you're in that position in years past, it's been really rough. But this year, big up to Venom, it's a lock. You're going to be on the road. You're going to be judged. The way that they're really planning it, maybe you could tell me if I'm wrong. The reason why I'm told, and this is something that people need to get through, when we say 8:30, it's a lot of Caribbean people playing mass for Caribbean Carnival. It is not Caribbean time. There is a reason why they are trying to start the parade so early, and that is to beat the mad crowds that come a little later that typically have stopped the parade and made it hard for all of the bands to come out. Now the bands are coming out early so that they can get to their judging point, and then we have the rest of the day to party.
Correct, yeah, for sure. The idea is that the bands would be in a true procession form, one after the other, without disruption and gaps. And so one of the key changes is that the flow of the parade. So it's going in the opposite direction to what individuals might be used to from prior years. So traditionally, in the last few years, we've started inside of CNE grounds, proceeded onto Princess Boulevard for judging, and then out into the lakeshore. This year, it'll basically be, instead of clockwise, it'll be counterclockwise. So we're still going to start inside the CNE. So masqueraders should, strive to enter through the Dufferin gates, because that's the closest area to the assembly point
Yes.
for you. We're going to be exiting from the assembly point out onto BC, British Columbia Drive, and then onto the lakeshore.
Okay.
And then proceeding along the lakeshore route, the traditional lakeshore route, just in the opposite direction, and back in through, I believe it's Newfoundland Drive,
Yeah, and that's-
into the judging area.
And that's one of the most important things, even for me, who's been doing this for years and years, because last year I got off at the wrong subway station. I'm used to, so the parade's going backwards. Everybody's used to it starting at the top of the CNE grounds, kind of like where the Princess Gates are. And I normally take the streetcar into there and then thing. And last year I was walking for a good 45 minutes. So it starts at the bottom now. Typically kind of where you expect the parade to end. That's where it starts. And I'm not good with street names around the CNE grounds. I'm better with landmarks. So the assembly area is close to where Liberty Grand and Music Nightclub is.
Yep.
Dufferin
And the big
Gates.
windmill,
Yeah,
like
the
you
big
see on the
windmill. So
lakeshore.
it starts from that area. That's where the assembly area is. And they're coming out on the lakeshore and going east on the lakeshore instead of going west on the lakeshore, which is what we've been used to for a number of years.
Yeah. So masqueraders, and please plan ahead. Know your transportation route.
Yeah.
TTC, Go Transit. If you are going to be driving, the advantage of the earlier start time is there's less traffic downtown.
sure.
So if you're going to be parking, just know your route.
Try to take the
set
subway.
5 alarms. Like make sure you
Yeah.
wake up.
Just don't go to sleep. Just don't bother sleeping. Just
Yeah.
rejuvenate straight downtown. And parking, I think, is a big situation because when the parade started at the other side, there is a lot of parking by the CNE grounds. There is not down by Dufferin Gates. Just take the subway. I am a DJ. I have a car. I love my air-conditioned car.
Yeah.
I never drive to the parade.
Yeah.
Take the subway, take the streetcar. It is the fastest way in, and more importantly, it is the fastest way out at the end of the day. So make sure, take public transportation.
Yep. And for the judging area, it's going to be bigger this year. So traditionally, there's been one focused judging point with the judges under one tent and judging the mass as it passes section by section and the overall band presentation. So this year, the judging area is called the Spectrum, and it's going to be a larger, more vibrant area with about 3 different unique judging points. So it's not going to be as stop and go for the bands crossing section by section. It's going to be a little bit more fluid, and I think people will enjoy it a little bit more.
Okay.
This time around. In speaking with the parade operations manager, Gerard Weeks, he's a very experienced, band leader, masquerader himself, so he understands what, the participants are looking for, what the bands are looking for, the overall experience, and when he shared this idea, it seemed to be a positive one that people are gravitating towards.
Okay.
So looking forward to it for sure.
And it's important to also know, you said this already, but just to point out again that the judging point is at the end of
Yes.
this parade, not at the beginning.
Yeah, so you have to save a little bit of your energy.
Yeah, which is actually a good thing, again, to make sure all of the bands get out on the road. We are coming out, straight out onto the lakeshore. There's no circling around the grounds. There's no whole heap of time going around by the Better Living Center. It is coming from basically by Liberty Grand, that street that goes into Liberty Grand. It's coming down and out straight onto the lakeshore. There's no blockage. So everybody's getting on the road.
Yep. And after your band is judged, there will be opportunities with your band to continue enjoying the music for the rest of the day. It doesn't mean that you have to go home. Bands will be stationed within the scenic grounds and still have their music on for the full day. And there will also be music continuing down on the lakeshore even after the mass bands have flowed through. And I'll let Michelle speak to that in a little while.
Okay.
Another key thing, wristbands. Don't forget those wristbands.
Yeah.
Your bands will provide those to you when you pick up your costume. It's imperative that you have those. It's a means of keeping the route clear and secure and just making sure that you can get into the grounds easily that morning with the number of people. So, try and do your part and help the security personnel and the organizers and listen to instructions from the bands and the DJs on the road. Sometimes if EMS has to pass through, you have to be cognizant of those type of minor disruptions that happen from time to time. So just be cooperative and enjoy yourself, hydrate, wear sunscreen, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Be safe and, be vigilant. If you see something, that isn't right, please report it to your band leader, your section leader, the security, the Toronto Police Force, everybody who's available that day to help you, and make sure that it's enjoyable. They really are going to put a conscious effort in making sure that non-masqueraders are not on the parade route and do not impede the parade. It's the 50th year of the festival.
It is. It's a big deal.
It's imperative that we showcase it to what it really is. And so if you're not in costume, we're definitely asking those individuals to respect the mask.
Yeah.
It's a campaign that we've started. It's a campaign that we're collaborating with the Toronto Masqueraders Association, which is the body that all the mass bands participate in.
Okay.
So, we're going to be pushing that message out on social media, asking the help of, all of the participants, all of the DJs, all of the bands, everybody to, really emphasize that message, respect the mask, because it's a cultural art form.
It is.
And some people might not understand the importance of it. And a lot of work goes into those costumes. And so people want to display them proudly, dance. And the pictures are so much more vibrant when, you see that sea of costumes and feathers and jewels and everything, rather than, people in their street clothes storming the bands. And
there's a lot of money that goes into it as well, and let's not forget that part. People pay a lot of money to play mass, and they expect to enjoy themselves. So key things to take away from that part of the conversation: one, early start time, and as far as I'm seeing, it's going to be on time. We're looking to get everybody downtown in the assembly area, pretty much for whatever band you are playing with. You need to be down there by 8 o'clock in the morning. The parade is starting at 8:30. There's no stoppage. They're coming from the assembly area straight out to the lakeshore. So there's no circling around. There's no time to catch your band if you're late. So you need to get there early. Normally it circles around the CNE grounds. If you're a little late, you see people running up and down inside the grounds trying to catch their band. That is not happening. It is coming from the assembly area straight out to the lakeshore, which is a secured area. So if you miss your band before it goes out there, it might be hard luck for you. So make sure you are down there early. So Michelle, now they come out to the lakeshore, they go up, they get judged. You tell me what happens then.
So following the masqueraders, there's going to be some steel bands coming down the road.
Okay.
Also important to the culture.
Yes.
And following the steel bands, there will be 4 music trucks coming down the road, and those are for the non-masqueraders.
Okay.
It gives them the opportunity to partake in the day without interrupting the flow of the bands.
Okay. So they have their time.
They will have their time, yes, definitely. And also in the back for the masqueraders, there will be little blockos happening and whatnot. What I would like to speak on, though, is the respect the mask part of it.
Okay.
So a few years ago when we did start this association, we came up with this campaign called #respect DE Mass. The Toronto Masqueraders Association this year has really picked up on it and pushed it. A lot of the DJs and MCs, I know they've done it in their parties and whatnot. So basically what we are asking is for your listeners, and just spread the word, use the hashtag. Understand that people spend thousands of dollars to either play mass or make mass. It's a cultural art form. It's something that it deserves respect.
It does.
I guess the Blocko thing is important because that does give the non-masqueraders that opportunity to feel like they've partaken in the mass.
Yeah. They get to jump up on the road.
They will get to jump up. Yeah.
It seems like that's the thing. It's like they don't like the fence. Like the fence is like, it's like a mission for them to get through the fence.
Right.
So okay, cool. You can come through the fence. Just wait. Let the masqueraders pass.
Exactly.
Come out, jump up, wind up, do whatever you want.
Yeah. And
Just
I think
let
that
the
the
bands
music
pass.
on the lakeshore will be playing until I think 9:30 p.m.
Okay,
so
so-
it's quite a long day. So
It is.
you don't have to feel like you're missing anything if the mass bands pass and you're not in the band. I mean, you will have your time.
Okay, amazing. And it's important because I mean, masqueraders or not masqueraders, Toronto Carnival is about having fun, and you can't have like us blazing soca down the lakeshore and then expect people not to want to party.
Right.
So they can party.
Yes.
Just wait until the mass passes, please.
Exactly. So I think it's just some other important things to mention. It's just not about the parade itself.
Okay.
But there are also other events that do happen, cultural events. We're talking about the Junior Carnival King and Queen Showcase on July 16th. That's a new event this year. Then you have the Kiddies Carnival on July 22nd, the Calypso Show on the 23rd. Obviously the King and Queen, which is the Thursday before.
Okay.
You also have Pan Alive the Friday night before, and then the Grand Parade on the Saturday. So those are some, get your tickets.
What's a website that they can go on to get all the addresses and times and all those kinds of things? What is there an official?
Yes, there is. There's a couple options. One is the Peeks Toronto Carnival app, which is titled TOR Carnival in your app store.
Okay.
They can
App Store and Google Play.
Oh, and Google Play.
Yes.
You can also go to TorontoCaribbeanCarnival.com. And you can follow Toronto Carnival on their Facebook and their Twitter at TOR Carnival, as well as us, please, at Instagram at TO Mass Players, and you can search us on Facebook, Toronto Masqueraders Association.
Okay, amazing. Thank you guys very much for coming in today. Again, I need to repeat, the most important points are, one, you need to be down there early. We're looking to start at 8:30, and that means you need to be in the assembly area by 8 a.m. The assembly area is down in the area of Liberty Grand and Music Nightclub. The closest subway, or I guess public transit stop to that would be the Dufferin Gates. Everybody knows the Dufferin Gates, so that would be where you need to get to walk quickly into the assembly grounds, not at the top of the CNE where we normally go. The parade's basically going backwards. It's coming straight out of the grounds. There's not going to be any time to catch your band, so make sure you are on time. And the judging point is towards the end of the route, and there's going to be space for the spectators to party. There's definitely going to be space for the masqueraders to party. And looking forward to a very successful Carnival 2017.
Very hopeful.
So thank you guys. There's really one thing that I've learned in the past couple of years with all the changes is there's really no way to predict exactly how this is going to go. So let us see how it goes. And I want you guys back here in August. And we're going to talk about how it went and if it's going to be the same thing next year because it went very, very well, or what other slight changes and tweaks we can make to make sure that the 51st edition of Carnival is even better than the 50th.
Yep. And up until the Carnival, we've been sharing a lot of information. We have a current homage campaign that is explaining some of the history of the last 50 years. So it's very informational for not only for masqueraders, but anybody in Toronto who's interested can definitely check that out on our social media handles. And anyone in the downtown core, on Tuesday, it's the official Carnival launch at Nathan Phillips Square. It's usually a pretty big production, media coverage, costume models, food vendors, musical entertainment, etc. So that's always a good time. Hopefully the weather cooperates. And if you want to participate as a masquerader, there's still definitely time. All the 11 bands are listed on all those social media sites that we've talked about in the last few minutes. And spaces are still available, so it's quite easy to register for a costume. The mass bands are quite welcoming. You know, you just basically show up and pick what you like, and they size you, and they'll give you all the information. So if it's something that you're interested in and wondering how to participate, definitely don't be shy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys very, very, very much. Once again, we're going to talk again after the parade. Everybody else, right now, let's get back to the music right here at Vibe 105, Toronto Masqueraders Association. Thank you guys very much.
Vibe 105, your main source. It's about damn